Howdy everyone, Tristan here. I would like to say I see myself as a creative. I've made a Mr. Blue Sky animation, along with a few ones that aren't on YouTube anymore. I've also made a satire piece, and most recently an animation to a cover of the song Vienna. The difference between my other animations and the Vienna one is the 3-year time gap, and I thought it might as well make sense for me to fill everyone in. I had been suffering from Imposter Syndrome. Ever since I made the Mr. Blue Sky animation, I have been praised as this great animator who is going to make these cartoons when he's older, and it's gotten to the point of my parents even had bought a Jumbotron message at my graduation that said, "May your future be animated," and they made my graduation party film themed. And animation had always been a hobby for me. The reason I got into animating is because when I was younger, on days when I felt like I had no one, I knew I could go to those cartoons and watch and join in and feel like I'm right there with everyone else in these great worlds and provide that escapist need for other people. And that's what I saw an animator as, and I didn't see myself as that yet. So everyone telling me how great I was, even though I wasn't even half of what I expected of myself, made me feel a lot of pressure that I needed to do better, that I needed to do good. And if you apply that pressure to anything that you love doing, it turns it into this very stressful endeavor. It's like if you did decent at a video game, but then everyone said how you were the best ever and they know you're going to be better than some of the pro players of said game. So you felt stressed like you needed to play it every single day and get better, or else you were letting everyone down, including yourself. Because this is supposed to be something you love doing, but when they add the stress, even though it's unintentional and they're trying to support you, it does create some friction. And it did keep me from animating for a little bit. Senior year, I had planned to make more animations and keep the ball rolling, but for some reason I didn't. And when I got out of high school, I went straight into getting jobs. I feel like I used it as an excuse to avoid animating and not really come to terms with the fact that for some reason I was being stressed out by this thing that I used to enjoy, because I didn't want to accept the thing that I enjoyed was making me not feel good, especially when I couldn't put a name to those feelings. But things got a lot worse once I got my first cubicle job. Everyone tells you you want to get a 9-to-5 and it's safe and it's reliable and it's nice, but it honestly sucked. It was a soul-draining, depressing experience. Right around that time, I actually got AdSense put onto my channel. What that meant is I could finally start making money from animating. And I've always seen animating as something I've loved doing ever since I was a kid. And at this point, I still haven't come to terms with animation making me stressed. So I thought I need to focus on this full force so I can get out of here. So what that means is, on one hand, if I do animate, I stress due to the imposter syndrome. And on the other hand, if I don't animate, I'm stressed because I feel I'm going to be stuck in a bad situation. And I think here is where you can see the problem. I put myself in a stress sandwich. I did the Vienna animation and I did have some fun with it because it was nice to get the feeling of how stressed I was off of my chest and kind of out there. But it still didn't deal with the issues, and I know I was still feeling the anxiety. Less while I was animating, but a lot when I wasn't. So after looking into a few different things and trying to understand why my brain was stressing out so much, I had come across a video on imposter syndrome. And it kind of hit all of the marks. Feeling like your success isn't due to your own hard work. You feel like it's due to just being in the right place at the right time. And yeah, there's probably a little bit of luck in my video going viral. But that doesn't explain the likes and the comments and the people that subscribed. If my video wasn't good, they wouldn't have done that. And I overlooked this for nearly 3 years. I felt I was awful and like I'll never be as good as other people think I am. But then I realized how stupid that is. Animating is something I found fun, and I let it get taken away because I was worried of not being good enough. That's like not playing a video game because you're afraid to fail. You've already failed if you don't play. And putting a name to these feelings honestly has helped so much. And I've been able to just sit down and animate stuff for fun again. But there still is a little bit of a funk there. I'm not fully back to how I used to feel about animation, but I want to change that. What I'm going to try and do is make one animation every month. During the time I was stressed out about animating, I never stopped doing art or planning stories. That is still one of my main passions about the whole creative process, is making fun characters and making a world that's interesting to explore. And that leaves me with quite a backlog of ideas that I wanted to work on. And the best way that I can think to do this is to get them out quick and fast and dirty and just don't care if they're perfect. Caring about perfection is what kept me from animating in the first place, so I feel like doing it on a time crunch could be an interesting way to try and get it back as a hobby, to not care so much about the end result, but just kind of the process. And I also noticed I'm being followed by a lot of other animators or people who want to be animators one day. So I thought if I could journal my feelings and get it out there, you could see how I do it. And if you have a similar struggle to me, you can use this as reference for how I dealt with it, or know at least that you're not alone when it comes to that. Anyways, with all the explanation out of the way, I think it's best if we just dive in and see what I'm going to make. When it comes to stories, I have a lot of different inspirations. You can get it from just going outside and meeting interesting people. But another one I have is through gaming. Of course, there is the regular tabletop RPG, such as Dungeons & Dragons, or my favorite currently, Monster of the Week. But there's also some video games that do capture that type of feeling. And the first few of these that I ever experienced was the original Fallouts. They did a very good job of not handing you a player story like a lot of other modern RPGs do, and just giving you a world to explore so you can kind of feel out who your character is and what they're doing in this world. So I thought I could try and make something interesting in the Fallout world, and I came up with the idea to do something like a Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner situation, but instead it's raiders trying to get something from a vault dweller on the surface. I have a few different sketches and ideas for how I want these characters to look, but I understand after I make the animatic, I might see some different ways to simplify them or make their designs stand out more, so I might go back and change these later on. Anyways, the basic story that I have in my head is that the Vault Dweller will go to sleep, but it'll have a lot of traps set up, just like how you can do in the game. You can set up turrets and different defenses, and the raiders are going to see something they want and try to invade, but get stopped by all these different traps with like a cartoony slapstick fashion. Also, this makes it easier because it's one of the projects I wanted to do that don't have any voice acting, so I don't have to get anyone right away. Anyways, all that's left to do is just sit down, have some fun, get to work. I hope that you will all stick around and enjoy the journey. But if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I love reading all the comments from you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.